guys, welcome to Anaconda Kids TV, episode 4. Today we're going to get back into our punch block series, and we're also going to look further at the triangle choke from close guard. So let's get started with some warm-ups. Okay, feet together, eyes up. Okay, we'll start with our sit-outs. So, hands and feet on the floor. We're just going to drop this foot through to where the opposite hand was, and then back again, and then the opposite, back. You just put it on repeat. One hand, switching. Let's do maybe 10 of those aside. And relax. Okay, so the next one is we're going to add a reverse sit out. So we're going to start to rotate 90 degrees. So what that looks like is when we're here in our hands and feet, and I go through here, I'm going to go all the way through to be on my hands and feet here. And then the left foot and the right hand switch again. So we go through here. And then the opposite, and then the opposite. So we should start to rotate 90 degrees. So I'm switching hand and foot, and then the opposite hand and foot. So each time I change, it's the opposite hand and foot, so I rotate. So we do that for, say, 20 seconds. Go. And relax. Good stuff. Okay, so now we'll start with some back rolls. So we're just going to grab our shins here. Nice rounded back. As we go all the way back, and all the way up. We try and keep our knees nice and close to our chest as we do this. And relax. Now we're going to do it's called a triangle pop-up. So as I go back onto my back, I'm going to tuck one foot behind my knee like this, and then I alternate sides like this as I go. Bang. Okay, so as we roll back, we tuck that behind, and then we go back again, we switch. And then just in your own time, go 1, 2, 3. And excellent. So now we're going to add this technique where I'm going to come up into combat stance. So I'll pop up onto this foot, and as I come forward, I'm trying to just open these hips out. Okay, so the trick with this one is once I do my triangle pop up, the leg that's bent, in other words this leg that's behind my knee, it's just going to stay bent. So as I come up, this one stays bent, and then I can just roll straight forward, open my hips out, and then I can switch. So I can come up. Okay, and then we just alternate 1, 2. Okay, just in your own time. And there's our warm-ups for today. Okay, let's have a look at our punch block series again, our 5-position punch block series. What you can do is get your opponent to start doing some realistic scenarios. So we're not talking about bashing each other, but I want my opponent to test, okay, that I'm holding onto them tightly, that they can't get away in position 1. In every other position I'm covering up. So I've got my shell in place, got our defensive structure, and we're going to try and look after our head. So let's look at that. So we're back into position 1, for example, where we've got our close guard. So we're down here, I've got an overhook with one hand, like nice and deep. This is like almost coming out the other side. I grab the head and I pull the head in tight, and I sit up so my head's in this little spot here, so it's hard for him to hit me with this hand over here. I've got a nice high close guard, my legs are squeezing, and we're nice and tight here, okay? So if he tries to get up and to try and hit us, it should be hard here, okay? So we'll start in position 1 here, so we get into it here, he tries to move around, tries to hit me. Okay, so he gets his hands on the inside so he can get his posture back, okay? And once he's got his posture back, he's ready to start throwing punches again. So the minute we're losing this posture battle. I've lost my overhook, he gets away, okay? We're gonna cover, we're gonna slide our hips back so I can get my feet onto the hips, right? So I can roll and push my knees up here, right? So if he's still trying to hit us, I've got my defensive structure in here, okay? He does that and then he gets frustrated, so he's going to stand up to try and hit us. I'm going to drop my hips to the floor. I keep my feet here on the hips to control this distance. I keep my head up off the ground. I keep my double shell in place. So if he's trying to stand over us, lean over, he's trying to throw bombs, I've got some weight, like I'm taking his weight with my feet. He's leaning on me. So he does that a little bit, and keep covering up. Okay, he moves back a bit because he wants to get around my legs. Okay, so my legs are in between us, so what he's trying to do is get past the legs. So as he moves back a little bit, so not too far, just coming in fractions, like he's trying to get past my legs now. So I need to try and turn with him and keep my feet in between us. Okay, so if he stops and he comes in again to start throwing again, I need to get my feet back into here again. So he's trying to throw punches on here, he might try and move around my legs a little bit. I've got to move with him, and then he moves in again, we're back to here. Okay, if he's leaning in really hard, like he's trying to push, I might be able to throw him back with my feet to be able to stand, do a technical stand up. We stand with our shell, we slide back, and we get our fence back up again. So we need to be able to understand that there's 5 positions, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we need to be able to go from 1 to 2, from 2 to 3, from 3 to 1, from 1 to 3, from 2 to 4. Got that? So we're going to just cycle in between them, and let's have a look what that looks like. So what we can do here is we can just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we go 1, so I get overhook, bam, yep, he gets in, hands on the inside. So we go to 2, throw some punches. He stands, 3, yep, got a bit of space, is 4, a bit more space, is 5, back to 4, back to 3, back to 2, right, 2's here, back to 1, I get an overhook, I hold him tight, okay, so he gets his arms inside, go, yeah, you just keep trying to hit. Okay, so just there's a bit of a realistic kind of a drill where you can jump around from different position to position, depending on what our opponent does, how much space either they create or we can create. So what we're trying to do is we try and create space when we need that space to stand up, or we can take that space away, like if we have to take them back to close guard and take all the space away and clinch, we need to be able to do that as well. So there's our punch block drill, 1 to 5. Okay, welcome to our triangle choke details. Let's have a look at a couple of ways to set up the triangle choke and how it can fit in with our punch block series. So distance to friction, as we said before in the punch block series, in this position where our opponent can strike us, we actually want to be in here. So we've got a nice deep overhook here, we've got head control, I've got my head up here, nice high close guard, squeezing the legs, it's hard for him to get out, okay, so in this position. We've got this arm kind of locked down here, right? So what he could be doing is trying to throw a punch with this other arm, right? So this arm is going to be trying to come over the top to hit us, right? So he's bringing this arm over here, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come inside this arm. So I've got hold of the head, I'm going to slide my elbow down in front of this arm like this. I'll do this from a few different angles too, okay? So what we do is we end up getting wrist control and we've got our shin inside this arm here. Okay, so let's look at that from another angle as well. Okay, so we're in position 1. I've got my nice deep overhook, I've got my head control. I'm here, let's go off a little bit, yeah. So we're here like this, he's trying to hit us with his arm, right? So what I can do is, I've got my elbow inside this arm. So what I do is I slide it down and trap. So I start at the top of the arm, I slide down to the wrist, right? And then I've got his arm tight over the top of my shin here, like this, like that. Okay, so what I want to do here is slide it down more towards my foot. Right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull my leg further out so it's more down, right down towards my foot, and I slide down here, right down towards the wrist. So I've got this grip around the wrist. I'm going to let go of my overhook and grab his head here. Okay? The problem is, the issue is he might try and throw a punch with this arm over here, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn all the way to this side where I can bring this leg out. So if we go back there again, let's have a look at that. Here a little bit. So we're here, position 1. I trap this arm, right? I grab the wrist, I try and move back. I'm going to move to the other side. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to turn back to face this way, right? Where I can really pull this right down towards the end of my leg. I've got hold of his head with this hand. Right, so what I need to do, I'm on my back here, I need to turn onto my side, right? So I'm facing this way now. So I can control this wrist and get my leg out. So once the leg comes out, we've got one arm in, one arm out. So we can, again, get around to look at the choking leg here. We can lock that off and grab the head and finish the choke. Okay, so this is one way we can move into our triangle choke from the punch block series, is to get wrist control of his free arm. So if we're here, I've got an overhook here, like this, he's trying to punch with his arm, trap it, I grab the head, I roll back this way, and I jump this leg out, we turn, and now we can lock that triangle choke off. So that's one way we could do that. Another one we could do is we could use our shin, like a shin block into the crook of his arm. So let's have a look at that from this angle. I'm just going to switch the block to the other side so you can see. So I'd be on this side now here. So I've got my guard, I've got my overhook, I've got my head in tight here like this. Okay. What can happen here is as he gets his arms in to try and move backwards. So he tries to move in, he goes to position 2, right? So as he's going back like that, right? So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to grab the back of his head, and I'm going to grab the back of his arm with this one here, right? And I'm going to hip escape out to do almost like a basic sweep position. So I'm here like this, right? So I've got my overhook for a second, get that overhook back. Radio. So as he starts going backwards, watch. I turn, go. He goes up. I turn. I bring this knee over the top of his arm so I can collapse his arm and then bring it up over the top of his head. Up over the top of his arm here, where we can bring this arm across and we can look for our triangle choke. So if we just turn this way a fraction, let's have a look at that a few different times. So I've got an overhook. Yep, so go. He tries to get away from us. Okay, we bring his arm to the other side. Grab the head. Get around here to look at the choking leg. We can finish the choke. Let's do that again. There's our triangle choke off position 1 or off a transition from position 1 to position 2 in the punch box series. Okay, so let's just do a little bit of the punch block series and look for the opportunity to do the triangle choke amongst that. Okay, so we're going to do let's do the punch block series. Let's have a look at that. So again, I'm in here, I've got an overhook. Over here. Yep, and he tries to go to position 2. Bam, yep. Over here. He's trying to hit. Yeah, she stands. Position 3. He's trying to hit us. He moves back, pass. We're here. Moves up. Bam. He moves back in again. Bam. We bring him in again. Back to position 1. We're here. We can look to control this wrist. There's that jump over the top. Bang, there's our triangle choke. Let's do that again. So we're here. Bang. Yep, he's trying to hit. Bang. Okay, so that's the grab the wrist version. Sometimes, you know, if you're really long or maybe you're not as flexible, it might be hard to withdraw that foot. So let's look at the other one for some variety. Again, we're here, we've got our overhook. He tries to get out and hit us. Here, he stands, good distance, comes in. Hit us again, we take him back. Okay, he tries to get away from us. One more of those. Cool. So you can see there where we can use the triangle choke against the striking opponent to not just use our guard in that sense to hold on, just lock them down and hold on and hope, but we can also switch that up and attack with a submission to win the fight that way. Okay, it's time to do some stretching and just warm down now. We've got 4 stretches to do today, so we'll have a look at those. First one we covered last week again, we'll do that again. We've got the feet in, knees out for our butterfly stretch. We're trying to pull our feet in as far as we can, trying to put our chest down as low as we can, try and breathe out and try and sink into that stretch for say 15 seconds. Okay, the next one we're going to do is, I'm going to bring a foot in front of myself like this. So I can put my hand on top of this foot so my leg stays kind of horizontal here. Then get my other leg out the back where I'm trying to stretch here, and then I'm trying to get nice and low and hold that stretch. Switch. Now we're going to do a similar stretch where I'm going to bring this foot over here like this. I'm going to try and reach through this hole here with this hand, and I can grab this shin here, try and sit up. So I'm trying to pull this leg towards me. Hold. Switch. And now we'll finish on our cobra stretch. So, hands shoulder width, trying to drop our hips, look up, head up. And relax. So there's some of the stretches we've done this week. You can do as many reps of those as you want. Try and cool down and get that stretching at the end of the session to work on your flexibility. Okay, time to look at our task for the week. So your task this week was trying to crack this code and give us some information about what the answer to the code is. So it's pretty hard, it's pretty difficult. Let's see how you went. So what the hint was, you'll need an action plan to crack this code. So the hint there was an action plan. So when you go back to the code or the phrase, which was do rabbits and bulls count down 30 to 2, hopefully what you noticed was there were some capital letters there, so the start of every letter had a capital letter. So those letters are D, R, A, B, C, D. And then there was 30 to 2. So in an emergency sense, If you found someone unconscious, for example, you found someone in a pool not breathing, the action plan is DRABCD. So D for danger, R for response, A for airway, so check the airway. What do we got? B, check breathing. C, circulation. D, defibrillator. And 30 to 2 is your CPR ratio, 30 compressions every 2 breaths. So that was pretty difficult, but that is an action plan.
Alright, question 1. What does jiu-jitsu mean in English?
In English. So there's a couple of translations there. It doesn't directly translate, but the best translation you can have there is soft art or soft way. So jiu-jitsu is considered the soft art or the gentle art, because jiu basically means soft and jitsu means art or way. So you know, we're taking our opponent's size, aggression, momentum and things like that and turning against them. So
cool. Question 2. Name 2 positions we put our arms in against an aggressive opponent. The hint is outside and inside striking range.
Awesome. So we cover that a fair bit in our self-defense stuff. We did that in the punch block series because when we stand up, we could be in striking range. So what we do is we use our shell. So we've got our double shell. So when we're inside striking range, in other words, we're close enough that someone can hit us. It's an aggressive, we've already established it's an aggressive opponent. So they're using aggressive language or body language. Okay, so if they're close enough to hit us, we've got our shell. If we're outside striking range, we've got our fence. Okay, so distance control, we've got our hands up and we can easily bring that up nice and fast if we had to block strikes to our head. So we've got outside striking range is the fence, inside striking range is the shell.
Question 3. What is the minimum number of classes to be eligible to sit in the next grading of the Anaconda's kids system?
Yep, so that's all those answers are in our membership booklet. So when we get back into it, if anyone is after a membership booklet, just give us a yell, we'll organise one of those. They have all the requirements for gradings and stuff like that. So minimum classes for kids is 20 classes every strike, or belt, solid belt.
And lucky last was the riddle for this week. What becomes wetter the more it dries?
Yep, that's a towel. So you got that right, good job. There's some tricky ones there this week. Too easy, so thanks for joining us, happy Easter. It's disappointing because next week we were planning to do our first grading for the year, which would have been awesome. So we'll look to make up that sort of stuff with everyone when we get back. So thanks for joining. Feet together, eyes up.